My husband lied about having cancer and it cost us our son's life. For a little background. I, 38 female, married my husband, 39 male, when I was 23. We were very much in love and got married after dating for 2 years. I've never felt insecure in our relationship, I always felt like I had a great husband. While my friends and neighbors were divorcing, me and my husband rarely had issues greater than arguments here and there. I felt like I had a perfect family. We have 2 kids, a son and a daughter. Our son is 14 and our daughter is 11. Recently, our son became reclusive, locking himself up in his room, spending all day on his phone or his computer. I did encourage him to open up and get some fresh air, but of course he ignored me. I figured it was just teen stuff, I was the same at his age. All my friends and family said he'd grow out of it. Now, my husband is a cancer survivor. He developed bone cancer at the age of 12, and was constantly in and out of the hospital until he was 17 when he beat it. He always talks about having cancer, how he was stripped of his childhood and how we, our family, should be appreciative of our lives. I've never been anything but supportive of him and I know health is a very sensitive topic for him. Fast forward to now, 2 weeks ago our son killed himself. I don't want to get into the details, but I found him in his room. This is truly the most horrible thing I have ever been through and I am still trying to recover. But the situation with my husband has only made this so much worse. In my son's note, he says he feels useless. That he's unappreciative, lazy, and that his dad managed to beat cancer and yet he can barely wake up in the morning. My husband was very distraught over this. I assured him this wasn't his fault, but he was inconsolable. Especially about that part specifically. My husband was in wreck, I was too, but I still had to make funeral arrangements and break the news. I called my in-laws to tell them what happened. It's very important to know that I don't talk to my in-laws unless it's about the kids. My husband is almost completely no contact with his family besides his sister, but she lives in a different state. I told them a bit about what my son wrote, and mentioned the cancer. My mother-in-law was very confused. What? Cancer? I didn't know what she meant so I said yeah, he felt like he wasn't as good as my husband, since he survived cancer, but he couldn't do basic things. My mother-in-law then said, what? He never had cancer. I was so shocked and confused. I told her he did and he always talks about it. But he assured me he never had it. My husband always has terrible things to say about his mom, so I wasn't sure if I should believe her or not. He calls his parents, especially his mom, abusive and narcissistic. But after the call ended, she sent me photos of my husband in his youth. Pictures of him on the soccer team in 10th grade. But my husband always told me he could never join any sports because he was always in and out of the hospital. This basically proved it. I was furious and blamed him for what happened to our son. After my husband came home, this all happened while he was getting groceries. I yelled and screamed until I couldn't anymore. At first, he denied it, but after I showed him the proof he stayed silent. I couldn't believe it. I punched him in the face, then went outside to get some fresh air. I'm honestly not a very violent person, but this is genuinely the most mad I've ever been in my entire life. I still don't know what to do. My son's funeral has passed, but I am still absolutely furious. I've been sleeping on the couch and only talking to him when needed. How do I tell my daughter? Should I? How do I tell all my friends who see his bullshit posts about being a survivor that he's a piece of shit and a liar? I don't know what to do. I feel so suicidal, but I don't want to burden my daughter by making her lose 2 family members like that. Especially when that means leaving her with that freaking psychopath that lied to me for 17 years. I feel so conflicted. I hate him to my core, but I still love him. Like I said, our marriage has always been good. I've been in love with him for so long now, I don't know how to stop. I've relied on him and looked to him for comfort. Built a family with him and now I feel backstabbed. It makes me wonder what else he has lied about. Edit, to anyone questioning my story. Like I said, I don't speak to his family. I only have his parents' cell, because they are still entitled to visit their grandchildren regardless of how he feels about them. My kids would spend time with them around 1-2x a month. No, they did not come to the wedding. Like I said, my husband is on very bad terms with everyone but his little sister. We have met and she was at the wedding, but I still don't know her very well and she lives in Florida, so it's hard to have a relationship with her. His parents actually did want to come to the wedding, but he didn't want them there. He's always been secretive about his life, before he met me. As for childhood friends or anything like that, as far as I know he's not really close to any of them anymore. Most of his friends that I know went to college with him and they know about the cancer, so I guess that's when he started lying about it. He has shown me childhood photos, but most are from when he was really young, not when he was a teen, which is when he had cancer. The ones where he is a teen his head was shaven, so it wasn't hard to believe he was going through treatment. His excuse for not having many childhood photos is that his parents have them all, and since he doesn't like them, he doesn't want to ask them for his photos. I know that suicide is complicated, and I know that my husband isn't the only reason my son did this. He just felt insecure and compared himself to my husband, who turned out to be a liar. I'm very emotional right now, anyone would be, so even though I know it isn't my husband's fault, I'm still upset and feel disdain for him, knowing my son died thinking his dad was so much better than him. I don't know anything about cancer, besides the basics, so it was easy to lie, I guess. Cancer is not necessarily something that comes up in casual conversation, and I wouldn't talk about it unless he did, so I wouldn't bring up any bad memories. That's all I have to say about that, so I won't be replying to any more comments to defend myself, because apparently other people lie on here. I've never even used Reddit before, so that's why this account is new. Edit 2, thank you for all your kind comments and your advice. I'm torn on what to do, as I can't picture myself ever trusting him again, but I also rely on him financially, and my daughter is already going through so much. I don't want to add divorce on top of it. I also know that long process would drain me out as well when I already feel like I'm dying. This is not something I think I can get over, but I'm not sure I can leave him either.
Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel before we jump over to story 2. I'm planning on abandoning my family as soon as I turn 18. My family sucks. I, 17 turn 18 in 2 weeks, and I'm getting the fuck out of here as soon as the clock strikes midnight. My parents have extreme bias towards my younger brothers, 16 and 15. It's been like this forever. I have no idea why. I've always been the one who had to do all the chores in the house. I also have always been forced to play every single sport I possibly could, to the point where my schedule was packed 365 days a year. My father told me it would teach me to be a real man. But my brothers never had to do any of that shit. They're both fat lazy fucks who sit around and play video games all day and all night. They miss school at least 30% of the year and are constantly spoiled rotten by my parents. They already have thousands of dollars from birthdays, Christmas, and other holidays. As soon as I turned 12, I was told I would no longer ever be receiving gifts from my parents other than bare essentials. I was told I had to pay for my phone and any other expenses I wanted to own, and to never ever ask for anything. I wasn't able to own a phone or anything really special for myself until I was 16 because I couldn't find any actual jobs that paid good money. My parents also expect me to take care of my younger brothers when I'm an adult. My younger brothers have both decided they will not be going to college and do not plan on working a day in their lives. My father told me, "We kept you alive, you owe it to us." Fact you. I'm leaving a nasty letter on the table when I leave and changing my phone number, emails, and everything. They will never be able to contact me no matter how hard they try. I know my younger brothers are going to be screwed for life since they have zero experience on how to survive in the real world, but I don't care. That's my parents' burden now. I hope they go broke from having to fund my brothers' lifestyles, and I hope they lose everything. I have no sympathy for these people, and I will never feel bad no matter what happens to them. The only thing I owe to my parents is the fact that because of the shoddy treatment over the years, I am well capable of surviving on my own in the world. I'll be going to college to study finance in Virginia. They have no idea I've been accepted to any college, never even asked, and I'm also very physically fit due to playing 6 sports a year. However, the trauma will never go away. They took away my entire childhood, and I will never forgive them for it. They can all go fuck themselves. Update, August 22nd, 22. I'm happy to report that I am officially gone. So the last 2 weeks after I made this post have been crazy stressful, but I'll sum them up here. I changed my number a few days ago by calling my SIM card provider. Then I went and got a copy of my birth certificate. Since I don't know where my actual birth certificate was, I couldn't just ask my parents, and I also made sure to check that my bank account was secure and not shared with my parents. I purchased a plane ticket last week to fly into Dulles International Airport in Virginia, just outside of where I'll be attending college in Fairfax. Finally, I called one of my cousins who I am very close with and asked him to please pick me up at around 12:30 a.m. last night. He agreed with my decision to leave and told me he was proud of me for taking action to improve my life. I packed my stuff up after everyone had gone to sleep and waited. I decided to keep my note to my family short and sweet. All I wrote down was that I was moving to go to college in California, LMAO, and that I was never coming back. So, last night my cousin picked me up. We went to the police station where I gave them my proper identification and informed them that I am not missing and am leaving on my own accord now that I am 18. They told me they'll keep it in mind and will watch out for that potential call in the next few days. I got a few hours of sleep at my cousin's and then flew out of New Orleans International at 6 a.m. I am now sitting in my college dorm 950 miles from home, and I've never been happier in my life. I can't wait to meet new people and finally enjoy my youth. Thank you to everyone who gave me great advice on here and commented their support. I didn't expect this post to take off like it did, but I'm happy my story has affected so many. I will update again in a few weeks. Update, damn. This post took off again these past 2 days. My phone has been blowing up with demands for an update, so I shall deliver. Life has been good. I've been in contact with the cousin who helped me and also a few other family members from back home. He said that my mother came to their house the day after I left to talk to my aunt about me leaving. She cried and gave my aunt this whole sob story about how she can't believe I would abandon them, and my aunt told her maybe she shouldn't have treated me so wrongly throughout my whole life, which caused a huge fight and ended with my mom being thrown out of their house. So it seems me leaving has caused pretty much the uproar I imagined. I've been doing well, met plenty of new people and made friends via classes and dorm neighbors. I'm in a better mental state than I've been in a very long time. I feel so relieved, and it just feels like a huge weight is lifted off my shoulders. It feels so good coming on here and reading all the support and positive comments I'm receiving. I'm really grateful for this community. I will continue posting updates in weeks to come. Thanks for everything, everyone. Edit, as promised, I am here for another update. I waited a long time in between updates to really let my life unfold so I could fill you guys in on a lot. Things have been great. I went back into my hometown for Thanksgiving and Christmas to spend time with my aunts, uncles, and cousins. Literal blocks away from my parents' house, but they are not welcome at those events anymore, so I wasn't worried. They still don't know where I am or what I'm up to and have apparently given up on trying, which I'm perfectly happy about. College has been great, made lots of new friends, and have been keeping the grades up, 3.9 GPA. I love my new life, honestly. I never went to therapy or anything, despite numerous suggestions from some of you, but I feel like I've done well enough without it. I've learned in these months how resilient I really am. I got 2 jobs on the side at different restaurants in the town around campus, mostly dishwashing and working on salads. Simple stuff, but I'm making enough side cash to provide for myself. Since I got a free ride to JMU, I don't have to worry about a college savings account or anything, so that's a huge plus. Thanks for all the continued support and comments over the last few months while I've been silent. I hope you guys enjoy the update. I'll be back someday. Much love.